Hello, and welcome to Husky Talk. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me today, well, a very special guest, Miss Audra Pittman, a
Hello,
former
hello.
Yukon track star. Thank you.
Yes,
For,
sir.
thank you for coming on the show. I must be doing something good. I'm getting all the track girls on.
You are, man, connecting us. It's like a little
I
reunion.
am. I am. I have to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon Partners are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in wealth management, employee benefits, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of Husky Talk, and he is going to get me a Tesla when I make my first million.
That's
So
amazing.
that's something to look forward to. And then we also have Pete Finch in the Finch Law Firm. If you have endured a personal injury, if you have fallen down a flight of stairs, if you have slipped and fell in a store, if you've been bitten by a dog, if you feel that you've been arrested and your rights have been violated, Pete Finch and the Finch firm are for you. Also, car accidents, auto accidents, very important. Pete will take care of you to the fullest extent and make sure that you get the money that you are deserved. Based out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, Pete has fought legal battles all over the state, and he will go to war for you. And if you're ever in a pinch, call Finch. And finally, Bleeding Blue for Good. Bleeding Blue for Good is UConn's NIL collective. College sports, it's a whole new world. And UConn, we're finally catching up. Mike Burton has gotten involved with football, and he managed to raise some money with basically 10 donors. And he got enough that we're seeing it make a difference. We're seeing it pay off. We've won 7 games. We're going to go to a bowl. And it's been the first time we've had 7 wins since 2010. And it's all because of Bleeding Blue and the talent that Mike was able to bring in because of it. All we need is more people to contribute. We have the numbers. We have strength in numbers. Go to the website. It's www.bleedingblueforgood.org and donate. He's not looking for thousands of dollars. If you can donate $100, if you can donate $200, if you can donate $100 a month, something like that makes a huge difference because we just need more people. And you can also donate to any other sport. You can donate to track, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, whatever the sport is. Bleeding Blue allows you to do that. So that takes care of our sponsors. And now we get to talk to our guest.
All right.
Yes, I love your lipstick too. I like
Thank
the.
you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Got to pop when you're on camera.
Yeah,
Got to do something.
yeah. No, you pop. Believe me, you pop. The girl that I may or may not be seeing, it kind of depends on the day. She's a huge Taylor Swift fan,
Oh, Swift
and
night.
she's a
Yes.
Swiftie, yes. And so I just recognize the lipstick because it seems like the lipstick that Taylor tends to
Tay.
wear.
Tay. Yes. Took it from
Yes.
Miami. Yes. Yes.
Oh, so you
Oh, we
know,
saw her. Oh, we saw Taylor in Miami. So, oh yeah. Oh,
you're a
my daughter,
Swiftie
Swift
too.
Price. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good,
Mhm.
great, yeah. That is so funny because
Mhm.
when I am with the girl that I may or may not be seeing, I get to see her music videos and listen to her music on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I can't call myself a Swiftie,
You
but
got a good thing going. You got to appreciate. I mean,
I become a fan. I
yeah,
become a
yeah.
fan. I really have. I appreciate the work that she's done she puts in. I went to the movie theater
Oh yeah, the experience,
with
the concert. Yeah.
with Kelly for the Eras tour, I think it
Yes.
was.
Yep.
And just she she just seems genuine, that she really loves her audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, and when you pay attention to the lyrics, I know she writes all her own songs,
Mm-hmm.
and they just have such power behind it and such a meaning.
Oh
So
yeah, they resonate. My girls
they
can listen
do.
to it, so it's great. It's great.
They do. It's all power. I was just amazed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, when I saw the lipstick, that's what it reminded me
There
of.
you go. There you go.
So I don't know exactly, where are you from
Oh my
originally?
Lord. Everywhere. Pick a
Oh,
spot.
good.
I got a connection to it. I was born in
Yeah.
Indiana, Texas, New York, Connecticut, Maryland, South Carolina, Georgia, and now Florida. I'm in Florida. Yeah, everywhere.
Did you have a family member in the army or
My
something,
dad,
or?
he was corporate. I call myself a corporate brat. And then I think I got so used to
Oh,
moving
yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
like, every 4 years, I'm like, oh, time for somewhere new. Let me go to grad
Yeah.
school. Let me try this out. Let me go. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
All
So
over this.
did you, like, I remember I talked with Keisha,
Mhm.
and she ran track at such a young age. I didn't even know it was possible, that they would have like a club
Oh,
track team
wow.
or youth groups for track. Did you also run track at a younger age?
No, you know what's funny? Like I do remember that about Keisha, like with all the Hershey track meets and the clubs, and for me, it was just more of like I could beat the boys in middle school. That was fun, like
I'm sure they
whatever,
love that. Yeah.
And then in high school, so I went 1 year. I used to live in Syracuse. I did high school track.
You lived in the Cuse.
I did. I did. Oh my
I
God.
lived in Utica.
Are you serious? So I lived in Manlius, Fayetteville, Manlius. I went to
You
Fayetteville,
and
Manlius.
FM.
Yeah, we had track meets up at Utica. Yeah, yeah.
Did you know Claire? Claire Sedgwick? Did Claire go to FM? No, Claire didn't go to FM.
Um,
They had some good football players. I remember they had
yeah,
some really good
yeah.
football players. Chris Rowland, I think, was one of them. I know they had a kid that went to Syracuse, and they were always tough.
That's crazy.
Wow, so you went to
Yeah. I
FM?
went to FM for a year, then I moved to Connecticut. So I went to
Okay.
Glastonbury High School.
Wow.
But it was in New York, like freshman year, where I got to go to states, and that's when I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like this could be a thing. And then Connecticut felt so small compared to
Yeah.
like New York State meet, where there's all the divisions and classes. And I'm like,
Yes. Yes.
oh, this is easy. I got this. And but I never really did the clubs. I never really did, like I would just do track season at school and like be done. And then I started getting recruited. I'm like, oh, wait, what? Like I can go to college for this? And it was just more of kind of fell into it. And I
Yeah.
remember some coaches would be like, I thought I was a sprinter. They're like, oh, honey, you're mid distance. Like, I'm like, I know. And I'm like, oh, they're right. And it would just take pushing me. Like I got recruited by one coach at UConn. She left the minute I got there.
I heard. Yeah. I heard that.
You've heard all this. So
I can't imagine, because it's funny, because I kind of did the same thing. I was recruited by UConn. The coach left,
yeah.
and then I committed. And it's like, it's the worst thing to do. And it was because I was like, well, are the assistants going to be staying?
Someone I
And
know.
and the assistants all said, well, yeah, I guess we're here. We're here now. When in
Mhm.
reality, knowing what I know now and having
Mhm.
coached college football, when the head coach gets fired, all
Whole
the
team gone.
assistants get fired.
Oh yeah, exactly. The new team comes in. Yep.
So I committed without even visiting, which is also even funnier.
What? Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't even visit because I wanted to play at the highest level,
Yeah.
and I was offered by some lower level Division I schools. I really wanted to go to Syracuse.
Oh.
Syracuse wouldn't take me unless I went to like junior college. And
Like
then the only other school I had was like Rutgers and
yeah.
Buffalo. And at the time, Rutgers had just got beaten by Syracuse 70 to like 10.
Oh,
So I didn't want to go there. And Buffalo was always awful. I didn't want to go there.
That's too funny.
UConn
Rutgers was on my list. I had 3 schools. It was Rutgers, BC, or UConn.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you went to Glastonbury for your sophomore, junior, senior year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And were you like a 400 or an 800?
So I was 400. I never ran 800.
400.
I thought I was a 200, 400 relay girl. 400 really became my thing. But but by the time I got to college, they're like, okay, they were kind of forcing me to do cross country, but by senior year, I'm giving you like the fast forward version. They were right. Like 800 was my jam. Cross country, got the best times my senior year. Like everything fell into place.
Yeah, because Keisha told me that too, that she played 3 sports in college. Did, cross country, indoor and outdoor
Outdoor
track.
track. Yeah, totally
And I'm
different.
like,
Yep.
how in the hell can you survive doing 3 sports in college? How do you
Year
have a life?
round, like you
How do
losing
you have a
out
life?
on parties. You're missing out on everything.
No, you really are. You really are. You're missing out on so much.
Yeah.
So I was just impressed that like she did 3 sports, and you're right. Like you have no life, and I don't know how you go to school. I mean, not that we went to class
That's
anyway,
crazy to
but
think about, honestly. And I was art major, so I like had to physically make things.
yes, you
Like
had to
not
be
just, like
there.
remember info. I'm like, wait, I got this project. It's got to dry, and I got to paint, and I got to do this. Like it was crazy. Yeah.
So when you were a sophomore in high school,
hmm
what events were you running at Glastonbury?
Like 1, 2, 4, whatever they needed me.
So they
Relay.
put you in everything,
Yeah, yeah. Like just
wherever they knew
help
they
out the
needed
team.
points.
I could
Okay.
just, yeah, go it. But I don't think I ever did the 800. That's crazy. But I remember coaches like from Bloomfield, they would be like, no, you need to be doing the 8. And I'm like, ah. And I don't know if you ever had, you got to get Stephanie Littlejohn. It was so funny. We were
I'd
rivals,
love
but
to,
great
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
And I remember she was like the 400 state champ. So I would always try to beat her. Like that was like my go-to. And then we both ended up at
Oh,
UConn running together. So
she
yeah.
was your
Hey,
teammate.
Trisha, you interviewed Trisha. So I ran against Trisha. She was
Yes.
at Weaver. Like we were all just like, oh, so used to seeing you on the circuit, but their coaches would be like, girl, go do the 800. I'm like,
Yeah, that's so crazy. I was so nervous interviewing Trisha.
yeah.
First of all, I'm always nervous interviewing women.
Uh-huh.
I'm just shy around women, and I can't talk to them. So and then her, I mean,
Yeah, she's a big deal. Yeah.
she was dressed to the nines. She
Uh-huh.
looked amazing,
Yeah.
and I put on like a dress shirt and tie to try to look professional, which I never do. And then I see her, and I'm like, oh, oh shit. I I never the whole thing about the podcast is I don't like to prepare anything
Okay.
because I like natural reactions, natural interactions.
hmm
And when it's scripted, it doesn't sound as good.
Right.
So for her, I did, and I read like her memoir and about her life, and I was just blown away
It's
with
amazing.
everything that she went through, and my God, and how she picked herself up and made a decision to leave a great job she had in California. She'd worked on Wall Street. She moved to Cali. She got a promotion, and then she didn't have the best interaction with the president there. And then some of her requests were not being approved, so she left,
Yeah.
and she said, I can do this. And that's when she started her medical supplies business. That was her first business, but it just blew me away, her story.
It's
So,
impressive.
so you did it all your sophomore year. You were running with the varsity, and you would
Mhm.
kind of. So what were your what was your 100? What did you run the 100 in?
Oh God,
Like
probably.
early on.
Oh geez, maybe 13.3 in high school. I don't
Oh,
even
that's
remember.
pretty good. That's
You
not bad.
know, like in the 13.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think probably 400. My best was like 58. So I wasn't like super duper, but I
Well,
just
I understand,
yeah.
and you're younger. Now track is completely different for getting recruited than a lot of other sports.
hmm
So, did you start getting recruited? Like Keisha said that she was starting to get recruited after her freshman year from a club team, which
Oh
I didn't even know they had club teams for track.
yeah.
Um, did you start getting recruited after your
I
sophomore year, or
don't
more your junior
remember
year?
club being that big in Connecticut. Like I
Yeah,
just
I don't either.
remember, all I remember is people saying, "Oh, maybe you should consider Hershey meets like that are hosted in Pennsylvania." Like that's all I heard
Yeah,
about. I
yeah.
didn't think of like now, like my girls are in volleyball. Everyone has to do a club sport. Like you got to
I
do
know. It's
school,
year
then you got to
round.
do club. You got to like that's the only way. And so I'm even thinking about, my daughter's running track. I'm like, well, what's the next level I got to do for them? And
Yeah.
we're in Florida. But yeah, it was just like I just ran because I liked it, and it was we had indoor,
Yeah.
outdoor. I did cross country maybe my senior year of high school. That was it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Cross country's boring. Yeah. You want to
yeah,
do cross country. Track's fun. I did track too. I loved it. I mean, I was a thrower, but I
oh yeah,
loved it.
yeah, it was
It was
fun.
just fun. It was so much fun.
Hmm.
So your junior year, did you then kind of specialize a little bit more in the 400, or were you
Yeah, I think
still
the
kind of doing
400
everything?
probably
Okay.
more became my thing because I'm not great at starting blocks. I think that was it. Like I don't have that. Like my legs are up here. I'm like this doesn't make sense. I'm not like built like a sprinter. Uh,
Yeah.
But the 400 became like, going to New England's and going to the championships. And you start to see like, oh, okay, now I see, who am I around? Who's my competition? You travel to Rhode Island. And actually then I started going to track camps. So I do remember I went to a track camp
Oh,
at,
you did?
yeah, I
Okay.
went to a track camp at Brown, Villanova, and you started meeting coaches and seeing people and like, oh, wait, okay,
That's right.
now it's
Yes.
starting to make sense. So I think it was like even going to the track camps and like
Yes.
getting a sense of like, oh, like this is like part recruiting, part, I'm at camp.
Were the track camps back then, were they weekend camps or
That
like a
was week
1 day
long,
camp?
overnight, like week
Oh, it
long.
was.
Like
Oh, a week long.
you're doing drills.
Wow.
You're like, it was hard.
It was intense.
About
That
that. Jeez.
that's crazy. No,
Yeah.
because football, was a weekend deal,
Okay.
and now it's more like a 1 day deal.
Yeah.
So, like, I couldn't like an overnight for a week. My God,
Mhm. But you
I,
learned a lot. Like you started
yeah,
seeing all the people from all over, like, oh, like that's competition. Okay. Now
mhm.
I'm starting to see it and understanding the drills I need to be doing. Like, I don't think I even weightlifted in high school. Like, I don't think I did any of that.
No,
Then you get Coach
no.
Hootie
I
at
mean, we
UConn breaking me down.
Hootie,
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 she's
Hootie,
crazy.
Hootie kills
Oh
everyone.
my God, but she gets it done.
She does.
So
She's doing a great job now.
yeah.
God bless her. She is. She's doing incredible. Um, so after your junior year, obviously you went to the camps. Now you're really starting to get recruited.
Yeah.
But I understand your senior year really doesn't play into effect because you already know where you're going before that. So
Yeah.
they must base everything off your junior year. What were your top 3 or 4 schools, would you say?
It was
You
just
were looking at?
it was UConn, Boston College, and Rutgers. I didn't
Oh,
even
wow.
now I think about it. I didn't visit Rutgers. I did an official visit to Boston College and to
Yep.
UConn. But it was funny. My parents bribed me. They're like, listen, if you stay because my mom worked at UConn. She's like,
Oh, so you go for yeah.
you get half from me, half from track. We'll get
Yeah.
you a car. I'm like,
Yeah.
done. Like that's an
Done.
easy
Yeah.
decision. I wasn't thinking like, oh, the
Well,
academics. I have to, like it
well,
just
yeah. I mean, any 18-year-old's going to take that deal.
like fine. You're down the street from home. I can go home on the weekends if I really want to. Like
Yeah.
done.
Who's
Easy.
going to say? Who's going to say no to that? I don't
No.
blame you. I don't blame you on that one. You can have a car.
So yeah.
So you rolled in. You were rolling into stores in a car.
In a car freshman year. So like what else could I yeah.
Had you ever experienced the legendary spring weekend
Oh my God.
before you went to
Time out.
UConn?
I did. So
You
here's the
did.
thing.
Okay.
So I went to oh my God, what was that? Was it not Tribe Called Quest? Oh, it was this group. Now I gotta look back, but it was like one of the concerts on the football field where they had
Oh,
the
yes,
thing.
yes.
Because my mom worked there. She's like, well, you can go to concert. Like, so I got to go and like meet the band beforehand. I'm like, oh my God, this is wild.
Oh,
Like,
my God.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They used to do I forgot about
Right on the
that.
football field. It was crazy.
Yes,
I feel
yes.
like Jay-Z or Biggie Smalls, like that Jay-Z was like just coming out. And I
Yes.
feel like he was there. And so I like a little bit of homecoming I got to see and kind of experience, but like concerts on campus and a little bit of spring weekend. But
Did you have a lot of like friends that ended up staying and they all left.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't want to go.
But you know what's so funny? Like I'm like, if we had social media back then, like when I was in school, like TikTok and Instagram, like keeping up with everyone, it would have been so different. Like I
I
just feel
know it would
like,
have. It would have.
oh my
It would
God.
have. It would have. No, it's crazy now, and that's like kind of been the mission of Husky Talk
Hmm.
is to keep everyone connected,
Yeah.
networking, working together. That's kind of been the goal. It wasn't my idea; it just turned out that way.
Hmm.
Um, I had a podcast with a couple Yukon guys, and they said this is what you should do.
Yeah.
But no one's going to watch that. They're like, no, this is your thing.
Hmm.
Talk to former Yukon athletes,
Yeah.
and you'll have a new guest every week,
All the
and that'll be interesting because our alumni engagement, at least for football, isn't great.
time. Okay.
So we're trying to improve on that.
Hmm.
So like guys don't know what other people are doing, and they love hearing how others are doing.
Hmm.
So that's why it's kind of worked out. And then the hope is, we're going to expand on it and um, really like have events. Like I talked to UConn and I talked to a couple other people about having like a Husky Talk dinner, a Husky Talk get together where everyone just comes together and meets and hangs out and networks and because a couple people had the idea and a couple people have actually worked together. That they're making money together and working together
Uh-huh.
as a result of Husky Talk because they found out they were in similar industries and they found out that wow, we could work together and make money.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe that'll be the next step. Well,
Uh-huh.
I have a Rolodex of alums. Find out who can work together, and that's what I've been trying to do. And it's crazy how it happened, and people
It works.
talked and they make money.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah. So that'll be the next step. Um, you're did you took an official to UConn, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Did you commit or
Committed right away. I think I still had to do the Boston College visit. I think that was
and get the car bribe?
and then the car bribe, and
And
that
then
was
the car
done
bribe,
deal.
and
Yeah,
then you did
yeah.
it.
But it was so funny. I'm like, Coach Remigino, I just still can't believe like I'm like, girl, like what? And I just stuck it out. I'm like, well, I want to be on campus. We're good. It'll all work out. Like, I wasn't
Yeah.
like, you're the only reason I signed. Like, I wanted to run track. I want to get better. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, you had already experienced stores,
yeah.
so it
Oh yeah.
wasn't as much like a culture shock going
No,
there.
it's like Connecticut. It's true Connecticut. Like,
Yeah, being from
farms and
Glastonbury.
dairy barns. Like, yeah, fine. I'm used to it. And I wasn't coming like Keisha coming from Philly, like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's how I was. I mean, I got there. I was like,
Whoa.
because again, I committed without visiting, and I go on my official visit after I'd already committed, and I'm looking around like,
What's
the
the
hell? This is UConn?
yeah.
All
Yeah.
I see is farms.
Got cows and grass, and it's funny. But you know what? I think about it. Like I got my graduate degree at Florida State, and I'm like, oh my God, I would have lost my mind. There's no way I would have focused down here. Like I could. There's
No
no
way.
way. Tennessee
No.
Street. I'm like, oh my God, we had two bars, Huskies
Yeah,
and Reds. Like
that's it.
that's
Maybe
it.
the pub. Yeah, you're right.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's overwhelmed. So I don't know how kids stay in school here. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
So you went to UConn,
Mhm.
and as a freshman, how was it tougher as far as like the workouts
Oh
go and the
God, it
time
was
you have to?
tough. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God,
was.
morning workouts. I was like, what is this? And then the cold, and you gotta go to the oh my God, the weightlifting. That was hardcore. Like
Yes.
I really remember, like I think all 4 years just being sore, like just sore. And just powerlifting
Yeah, you.
was new. All of it was new to me. I'm like, good God. But like workout, go to class, have another workout. I don't think I could ever imagine what it was going to be like. But I just think having everyone or seeing some familiar faces from like high school, running, and
Yeah.
we all just bond. I'm like, we're all in this. We're all getting beat
We're
up.
all in it together. Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. A huge
Yeah.
difference. So did you have success your freshman year? Did you mainly run? Did they stick you in 4 events
No,
or?
I think probably mostly 400, then indoor. Maybe I did like the 1,000, or maybe did a little more than that. But yeah, freshman, sophomore year, and then we got a new coach. God, probably by junior year, I don't know, senior year. Senior year was the worst year and the best year of my whole career.
The worst year and the best year.
Like I
Okay.
was ready to quit. Like I was ready. It was like a new set of coaches. They didn't want me. I didn't want them. I was running. I'm like getting an inhaler,
that's
every
tough to go
foot
through.
problem, just everything was breaking down.
Yeah.
And it was like winter session. They made me start doing like 2 days. I had to get extra miles, had to do all this stuff. And then like turns out like my best year ever. I got the record in the 800. Like that sucker hadn't been broken in like 20, 30 years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it turned around.
Okay. So freshman, sophomore, you definitely progressed.
Yeah. Oh,
and your junior year, probably you would say you had the most fun, best experience.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty good. It was just, interacting.
The senior year was tough.
Senior year was tough. Like I was ready to like, screw this. I'm good. And
was it more it's always tough when a new coaching staff comes in and you're not one of theirs.
Oh yeah, that's all it
was it a situation you think that they like you had to prove yourself to them, or more of a situation like where they just wanted to run you out and get
run me out, little attitude on my side, toot on their side.
Yeah,
like,
I can't see you you're not gonna take shit
like,
from anyone.
Okay, like this is a joke, and then we're concerned about that. I'm like, oh, you're concerned, okay, like whatever. It was such a like ill fit, and it was just so funny because you could tell they're like want to get rid of me. And by the senior year, my end of the year, like, oh, Audra, we got this recruit, or they'd be kissing my mom's butt, like, oh, can we bring? I'm like, oh wow, this is so funny.
Oh, now it comes out. Yeah, now you're gonna be nice. That's great.
But it was such like one of those lessons that just sticks with you. You just sometimes you just gotta like put your head down, do the work.
No, it does.
Like what can you say? I did everything. I did everything I was supposed to do, everything to get better, and showed out. So,
and you're always gonna be faced with adversity, and nothing's ever perfect.
Oh yeah.
So you learn to fight through it, and that's the mental toughness that you developed, and you thrived. And breaking that record, I mean, that had to have been such a monumental moment for you.
It was wild. First indoor and then outdoor. It was like unreal. Like I just set my sights on it, just focus every week, every meet. I would try to get 1 second less, and just go from there. So yeah.
And 1 second's a lot.
It's a lot. But
to drop a full second.
Oh yeah. But I was putting in extra miles on the weekend, doing whatever, riding my bike. I'd ride my bike to Gamble, work out, come back, do afternoon practice, do something else. Like it was wild.
What else did you run in indoor? I mean, obviously the 400. Did you run the 4x4?
Yeah. I think 4x4. I almost got to look at the media guys to see all the times. Like I forgot half this stuff, but I got to
know it's so long ago. I know.
Yeah, but Trisha and we're on some relay teams. I think we're in the media guide together. Like I think we're.
You are. I saw her in the media guide. Okay. Yeah. So that is you. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we ran our butts off. I mean, yeah, Trisha and I were doing 800. Oh my God. Wild. It goes so far back. Dude, this is like what I graduated 2000. It's like 24 years ago.
I know. We lie on this podcast. You're 25. You can say
25. Yeah, totally.
Well, I tell you, the Florida living down there, I mean, you I would never guess that you would be 40 years old, just so you know. Not in a million years would I guess that. So that's the Florida. Like I always say, like
sunshine.
I'd get thrown out of Florida. They'd kick me out because I'm like 290. I can't weigh that down there.
Oh my God. No, it's
If
all
I
good. It's all good.
I always used to say that I can't come to Florida. They'll kick me out.
Uh-uh.
Like if I ever tried to show up in Miami, like they'd say,
Oh, wow. Well, that's a
get
different.
him out of
Listen,
here.
Miami South Beach, that's another universe. That is
Yeah, it
like
is.
real life. That's not real life at
It's
all. At
it's
all.
not. It's
Mm-mm.
not. It's
Mm-mm.
not. Everyone gets work done. It's crazy.
Yes. Yes. Like, why does your kid
Um,
not look like you at all? Oh, it's all the work.
so wow. What did you end up studying? What was your major?
So I studied fine arts and more specifically illustration. I thought I was
That's
going to
right.
be a children's book illustrator, or a fashion designer, but there was no fashion at UConn. So
That's
studied
quite a
illustration.
that's quite a that's quite a disparity.
Well, no, there's fashion illustrators. So there's people, always love
Okay.
fashion and yeah. Um, and so yeah, studied illustration, but it was funny, like my senior year or junior to senior year, I worked this summer camp in Hartford with this company called Real Artways, and they were trying to help students who were doing test prep and getting them better over the summer. And then I would teach like art at the end of the day. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can do this for a living? Like I could be an art teacher? Like I like this. And I come from a family of educators. I mean, my mom was a school teacher and then
Oh, okay.
yeah, my aunt was a teacher. Like, so I was used to seeing that. And then that's when I decided, okay, I think I want to study art education. So I got my master's in art ed. I went down to Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore right after I graduated from UConn.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother was a teacher as well,
Okay.
and but not a professor like your mom, but
Yeah.
she retired,
Okay.
and same thing, believes in education, and it's so important now for kids to be educated properly, and the curriculums
Mm-hmm.
can be a mess. I just had this discussion with Keisha. I think it was 2 days ago. We did a podcast with Chris Bellamy, and she was talking about charter schools,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're like I had no idea what charter school was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, can you tell me what a charter school is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, well, they can focus on art and music, or they can focus on science. The curriculum can be a little different, but it's like a hot button topic. And I was like, really? I was like, it sounds great to me. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, yeah, not a lot of people feel that way. It's like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I know that she is a big advocate for I can't remember what she called it, educational. It's like educational freedom or having the choice,
Mm-hmm.
um, because if you're stuck in a district and it's not the best environment for you, or if you're getting bullied or whatnot, it has a negative effect on the kid, and the kid can end up getting in trouble and
Right.
running with the wrong crowd. So that's why she felt that having a choice educationally was so important.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great that that's what you do. And wow, I can't believe. So you went to Maryland for
Well, it's an
art.
art school. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore. Then I
Maryland
taught
Institute. Okay.
middle school a couple years, and then I came down to Florida State to get my doctorate because I realized I wanted to work at universities. So
You're a PhD.
mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So you're like 100 times smarter than me. Oh my God. You got a PhD? So why didn't you tell me that? I'd be calling you doctor.
No, because you don't need to
Dr.
go teach
Audra.
doctor. It's all good.
Yes.
All good.
Dude, if I had doctor in front of my name, I'd make everyone call me doctor.
Everywhere.
You kidding me?
Just
That's
in my
the greatest
email
thing ever.
signature for work. Just for work. Doesn't matter anywhere else at all.
Okay. So you did the middle school, and then you decided that you wanted to work at a
But
university.
funny? My mom, she's like, oh, I see you working at the university level. I'm like, middle school is tough enough. But I coached track at Morgan State University. I coached the distance runners for a couple years. And that's when I realized, like, oh, wait, this is cool. Like, I like working with university students. So
when were you at Morgan State?
So Morgan State, so I was still middle school teacher, and I was there probably 2002 to 4.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason I asked, I coached college football.
Oh, wow.
I was at Colgate, Dartmouth, and then Holy Cross for 10 years.
Wow.
And we played Morgan State.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We played Morgan State at Morgan State.
Ooh.
And going there, I didn't think it was the nicest area.
It's not. It's not.
It's not the nicest area. We're pulling in. I'm like,
Yep. Yeah.
is that right for us to park here? I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
I know Baltimore's a tough
Oh,
town.
Baltimore. I mean, it's The Wire. Like I was, by the way, I was an extra on The Wire. I was on The Wire. It was filming around.
That's my favorite show. You were an extra.
I was on. People always remember this. I wasn't even watching the show. I just knew they were filming. I'm like, I want to be an extra. It was when Idris Elba, nobody knew who Idris Elba was at the time. It was Idris Elba. It was a basketball court scene. They were outside, and it was like, so I was one of the fans screaming and stuff. And then
during the game.
Oh. It's funny, you cheer, but you actually can't say anything. So we're literally like that.
They put in the sound afterward.
But then they asked me, they're like, oh, we got another scene, but it's at midnight on North Ave. I'm like, that's just too real. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, that's hood North Ave playing a crackhead. Like, no. I draw the line. Like, I'm done.
That's what they were going to ask you to do.
Oh yeah, and I'm thinking like, most shows you think they're on. No, this is like really filmed in Baltimore. I'm like, that's
no, I know it is.
Like that's no. I don't know what's going to happen at midnight and me getting home. Like, no.
I thought, I still think The Wire is the best show of all time.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Like, it was so unbelievably real.
Mm-hmm.
The actors were like straight character actors, and they did their job so well.
Yeah.
I always love The Wire. That was, oh my God, I can't believe it. Now I'm gonna go look for you.
You gotta look. Yeah, I'll freeze frame. Like,
I know the scene. I know
everyone always knows the basketball scene. This is so funny.
Yes.
It took like days to do it, like all day, and like, oh my God. So.
Yeah. I remember because it was the prop Joe, the big heavy dude, and it was the Barksdale, and the other guy that you mentioned.
Too funny.
The English actor. He's very good.
Yeah.
And I remember because that was a huge game. They were competitors in the game, and they were all pissed off at the ref because I can't remember who won. But I remember that scene. That was in I think it was like the first or second season.
It was second season. It was so funny because it was like also before you could like DVR or pause stuff. And I'm like, so we all had to watch. I'm like, okay, don't blink. You're going to miss me. Like,
wow.
But I think I did go back to look for the scene, and I think I paused. I got to find that.
How did they find, did they find you, or did you approach them?
I was walking. There were literally like people on set. They're like, go to the casting office. So I just give them my info. They're like, okay, we'll call you. And then you meet all these people who like do this for a living. They're like, yeah, I'm an extra. I do this. And then once you're in, if you commit to it, then I got called. I don't know if you remember this movie. Chris Rock was running for president of the United States. I don't know if you remember this one. It was, and so I got called. I was supposed to be in the rally.
I do remember that. Oh my God. Rally,
and my car broke down in like the middle of Baltimore's highway. It was like this, like, I'm like, what? This could have been everything. But yeah, I think that was like my last. And once you don't show up, I'm sure they like you didn't show up, you're done. So.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe you had that experience. That must have been incredible. So how long have you been down in Florida?
Oh gosh. So here's the thing. I work for Savannah College of Art and Design, and we have campuses in Atlanta and Savannah. I actually just got back from Atlanta. So I do fundraising and development for all of SCAD. So I kind of go back and forth, but my husband's an attorney here. And so he's been here. We're actually in Tallahassee. So it's like South Georgia. And we've been here forever now. I feel like our oldest is 14, twins are 11. So yeah.
God, I can't, like, just, you look so young. I can't imagine you having a 14
like a kid hanging out with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're married. How long have you been married for?
15 years, December. It'll be 15 years. Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you for that. And you, 2 kids?
3 girls.
3.
All girls. 3
3
girls.
girls. Okay.
Yeah.
And the oldest is 14?
She's 14 in 8th grade. The twins are 11 in 6th grade.
You have twins.
hmm
That must have been fun.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
That
Short
must have been
lungs,
fun.
like, I can't breathe. There's no more room. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It was wild times.
That's not like an easy pregnancy, right?
That was
It's
an
tough.
athletic feat. That was like okay, all right. We're gonna swim enough to make it work.
We gotta get ready
They're
to
big
roll.
girls. I mean, it was
Push
like
those
13
babies
pounds
out.
of baby. Yeah, it was like 13 pounds of baby when they
They were that big?
oh, they were full grown. They were ready. Yeah.
Oh my
No
god.
preemie, nothing. They were ready to go. So
Okay.
yeah.
So the 14-year-old,
Uh-huh.
what, what are her interests, would you
So she
say?
was actually a ballerina from like 6 years old till
Oh,
last year, and her
that's
studio
tough.
closed, and she was doing point shoe like I mean, intensive, like every day, weekends, all
Yeah.
day. Her studio closed, and so we thought of joining another studio, kind of tried it out, it didn't work out, and it was so crazy because like one Sunday she goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm joining the track team. I need you to sign this. I start tomorrow." I'm like, "What?"
Where
Like
did that come from?
I'm like cheering, but I'm like, "What?" Like my
Yeah.
little and it's so funny because we have this family picture of like the girls running in our backyard, and she's so dainty and like dancery, and she's like running, and we're like, "Oh my god, that's not how you run," you know? And like my husband's like, "No, girl, mine's gonna run like all prissy and stuff." She signs up for the track team, and when she's on the track, it's like
She
something
turns
takes
it
over.
on.
I was like, "Oh, it's my
Well, she runs
baby!"
like her
Like,
mother. That's
oh
it.
my God. But like I literally am reliving my middle school through her. Like I see what she thinks she can do and what I think she can do are like at odds. I think she's gonna be a 400-meter hurdler. Like she's got the dance and the posture where she could jump. But I
That's the
think
toughest event. That's a
right,
really
but
tough event.
she's got it. And so she just needs to understand how to run it. And I'm like,
How how tall is she?
she's almost 5'9". She's 5'8".
Oh,
Oh, she's
wow.
tall, she's leggy, she's like a dancer, like, but I don't know. I tried to get her to do long jump. She wasn't interested. She said she thought she was a 100, 200, and she's like, I don't think I'm gonna do long jump. I'm gonna run the 400, like the 400 relay. I'm like, okay. So that was what it took for her to go try it out.
God bless you, because like you didn't push her at all.
At
Like
all.
that's
Like she
amazing.
literally was like the next, like, oh, by the way, I need you to sign this. I start tomorrow. I'm like,
And no offense to dance, my friends have kids that do gymnastics and dance,
yeah.
and it blows my mind how expensive it is to
Oh
be in
God.
a club.
Yeah. And she was
It
only
bl-
doing ballet. So she
ballet,
wasn't doing all
ballet.
those like, the costume, like, I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit, but point shoes, that stuff is expensive. I was like, oh God.
I know. I couldn't believe it. And they have the meet or the whatever
Competitions everywhere. You gotta
competitions on the weekend
travel. Yeah. Oh my God.
all over.
Yeah.
And my one friend, his daughter has done gymnastics for like 7 years,
Uh-huh.
and the practices are like 3 hours a day for
Intense.
gymnastics.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
how do they get like a 7-year-old to do this for 3 hours?
I don't know. But she was
And
like that with dance. I think it was more of a social thing.
yeah,
Like she had her people. So her
yeah,
Saturdays were taken up. I'm like, are you like, she was just excited. But
yeah.
then trying to go to another company, I saw that it was more social for her. Um,
Oh,
Yeah, she
yeah.
was like a new group
It
of
was
people. The
clicky.
studios were like, "Oh, who are?" I'm like, "No one introduced themselves to you,"
They were
and so I didn't
clicky.
force it. I made her do like a one summer intensive, just see like, okay, there's gonna be people from all over, and she's like, "I think I'm done." I'm like, "All right, all right."
So I mean, she has your natural athleticism.
Well,
She's a
all the
natural
girls do, and it's
athlete.
funny. Like her sisters, they do volleyball. They're volleyball girl. I never did volleyball. Like I didn't, I just
Yeah,
ran in circles.
yeah.
They
I
started a club
just ran in circles.
in circles. Like it's just me against everyone else.
Ah,
Um, but they have a middle school. So I'm like, y'all should try out. Middle school's a
yeah,
time to try out different sports. So the twins, one twin, she's like, yes, I'm on it. Let's go. The other twin, who's really athletic, doesn't like to be on show. And she's like, she went to one preseason like workout. She calls me like, Mom, pick me up. I'm not doing
I'm
this.
done. Yeah,
The coach is intense. She's like, but she's loving it. She's a good balance. She's been coaching 50 years, something insane. Like she's coached state championships in Florida, everything.
yeah.
Um,
Very
but we had to
experienced.
bribe her. She's like, well, I'll do middle school volleyball if y'all let me do horseback riding. I'm like, sure. What? Yeah.
Yeah, you can ride a
So,
horse,
yeah,
sure.
fine. So once a week, yeah, go ride horses, whatever. So the twins, I'm like, okay, y'all staying at school. You got volleyball. And I said, big sister, I'm not picking you up, going home, picking them up. You stay at practice. You just hang out. And all her friends are on the volleyball team. And the coach is like, if you're going to be at practice, you're on my team.
Yeah, you're joining.
They
Yeah.
got on the team and like killed it. I'm like, what? Like,
That's a story.
yeah. Yeah. So
That
we're
is a
just,
story.
yeah, we're big on them being involved, being
That's
active. You
great.
got to do something.
That's so great.
Yeah, so it's spun around into something else. I'm like, hey, the dance prepared you for the discipline, and now you're just going to show your athletic ability. So,
What are your views on the electronics, the cell phones, the
oh,
iPads?
man, oh my God.
You get
So the oldest daughter, she got one when she first went to middle school when she was 12. Just
okay.
because it was like for dance, I'm like, okay, I pick up who you pick up.
Yeah.
Like we needed
You
it.
need it for coordination. Yes.
The twins don't have a phone yet, but they're on iPads and they can kind of
Right.
message on their school laptops to each
Yeah.
other, to us, but you
Yeah.
got to limit it, and
You
like,
have to. It's good that you're doing that.
oh my God, but it's so much. And I can only, I check their phones and I check this, but you don't know there's like 50 million other things they could be,
Yeah.
but we did have a life lesson with one of the middle schoolers. I'm like, dude,
Life lesson.
they were talking about a friend and they were messaging her. And then the girl's mom jumped in and was like, your boy. I said, yeah, y'all doing some mean girl stuff. You don't have to correct the girl on her behavior I said, yeah, absolutely. So, but now like they have this foundations in technology class in 6th grade and they're getting
they do.
all this stuff. Yeah. They're getting like,
good.
when you send a picture, this is what happens. They have games for it. They like understand like the implications of, oh, it's just my friends. No, it's not. My oldest daughter, she thought
internet is forever.
Her friends, some guy screenshots it, sends it to the girl they're talking about. She's got to apologize. I'm like, that's life. I'm glad you're learning it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't put it in
good.
writing. Yeah.
Well, because, I would go over to my friend's house. My friend's son would have 3 of his friends over. So there'd be the 4 of them. They would sit in the family room. Every one of them would be on their phone.
Yeah.
And they're texting.
Like, are you texting each other? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, you're hanging out together. And all of you on your phone? Like, it is, put your phones away. Like, socialize.
But what's funny, though, on the converse side of it, I did tell them, I'm like, because they're big into watching YouTube, right? They don't even really watch TV. They watch YouTube.
Yeah, everyone loves YouTube.
All that. And I'm like, why aren't you making your own content? I'm like, 3 of you, y'all are funny. Like, why don't y'all make some content? And like, so like they started kind of delving into that. And I'm about to have my oldest work for my friend's boutique over Christmas holiday. She's like, oh my God, could you do TikToks for me and like do the clothes and show the merchandise? Like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, girl, go do what you do. Help her sell some stuff,
That's so huge. Yeah, because Husky Talk, I ended up meeting Dave Schumann. I don't know if you know him.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know Dave?
Yeah, we were there at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. So Dave does, he has a YouTube channel and that's what he puts. I did a Husky Talk with him and we kind of hit it off. And, I was just starting, my stuff. And I said, hey, would you mind putting my shows on your YouTube channel? Because he has, at the time he had 700,000 subscribers.
What? Oh, wow.
And now I like to credit myself. Now he has 1 million subscribers since we've been working together for 3 months.
Gosh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
He puts my shows on there, and then we do 3 or 4 shows together ourselves. Cool. And we just have like a chemistry, and we're funny, and we make fun of each other, and it's worked out great. But the money that you can make, like, I know Nikki Maher from
yeah. She was there at field hockey when I was there. Yeah.
She's an influencer. She makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
She does Instagram. And then Rafton was a track volleyball player. Okay. She was after you. And she also is an influencer.
Wow.
So if you like it, in the shorts and reels are
I was
paramount to the
listen, my
success.
girl was making templates, and I'm like, just
Yeah.
templates for, and she was getting a check. I'm like, it was linked to my PayPal, and I'm like, girl, you're making money, like just making little things, and people are
So
using your.
she's got views already. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, then keep doing that. Then you can get whatever you want. Like, make your
Yeah.
little monthly balance, whatever it is. I was like, this is wild. Yeah, yeah,
That's so incredible.
yeah,
That's so incredible. I tell you, that is quite the story. Your girls are athletes and little entrepreneurs.
yeah. We're
You couldn't be
trying.
any happier. So I am just amazed by your story. I'm so happy that you finished your career at UConn. You broke the record for the 800. You were in a tough situation with the coaches, but you fought through it, and you got your master's, and now you are a doctor. And you're teaching art. And did you also say coaching?
Well, I was coaching, and now I'm
Okay.
actually in administration. So I taught for a couple years, and now I'm a
Oh, that's
VP. So
right.
yeah, yeah, I got into the ranks of the things. Yeah,
So you are God bless you, man. You're
plain.
super successful, super successful. So I'll definitely we got to do a podcast. We'll do one with we'll try to do one with you, Keisha, maybe Bethany,
Oh, awesome.
and
Yes.
and maybe I'll reach out. Do you have Trisha's number as well, or no?
Trisha, yeah, yeah, we'll get all of us.
All right.
So Trisha, we almost had a mini reunion basically when she made her big donation. It was also
Yeah,
celebrating
safe
50
track.
years of Title IX. So
Yes.
we all were there, and I'm like, oh my God. So like Stephanie Littlejohn, Kathy, there's some other women too, like from our little era, our little
Please, yeah.
circle. That'd be cool.
If you talk to Stephanie or anyone else
Yeah.
from the women's track that would love to do a Husky talk, I'd love to have them on.
Cool.
Love to have
Love
them
it.
on. And we'll definitely plan a group one. I'll text Keisha and Bethany. And if you can get Trisha, I mean, that would be hilarious to have the four of you on. I
Oh
can't
my God.
imagine the stories that we'd have.
They probably remember more stuff than I do. Like my memory's so shot lately, but they, oh my God.
No, it'd still be fun. It'd be fun, and I mean, I'd be nervous as hell trying to interview four women, but that would be funny in itself. We'll
Yes.
definitely do that.
Love
But
it.
again, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. This was
You're
so
welcome.
much fun. You are hilarious, and I love your personality and the lipstick.
And the lips and the lips. I need
The lipstick makes it work. I love it that you got the Taylor Swift lipstick.
all right.
So again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Procyon Partners, top 50 companies, fastest growing companies in the nation, specialize in wealth management, retirement planning, and employee benefits. Sean Rabinowitz, currently his son has leukemia. He needs a bone marrow transplant. They did testing at UConn, but you can also go to his website. We'll put it in the show notes, and they will mail you a testing kit. You do a cheek swab and you send it back. And you could be the match that saves his son Ben's life. You be the match for him. And Pete Finch, the Pete Finch Law Firm, in a pinch, call Finch. If you have been arrested, you feel your rights have been violated, car accidents, slips and falls, any type of personal injuries, even a dog bite, the Finch firm is there for you. He's fought legal battles all over Connecticut, and he's based out of Bridgeport. Thank you, Pete Finch. And then Bleeding Blue for Good, our NIL collective. We're winning. We're going bowling for football because of Mike Burton and his team at Bleeding Blue, the incredible work he's done raising money. And the donations, just go to www.bleedingblueforgood.org. You can donate to football. All we need is more people to donate. He doesn't need the $10,000 donations. He needs people who can donate $100 a month, something like that. $200, $500. Just give something, and we will have continued success. The transfer portal opens in 3 weeks. So we have to keep the players that we have, and then we have to fill holes for the players that we are going to lose. So that is also important. And again, for Dr. Audra Pittman, former Yukon track star, and I think she should be a comedian as well. But yeah, she was great. She was great. Thank you again, Audra.
Wow.
And I am Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them